What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you guys are doing well tonight. We dealt with some technical difficulties. Mr. DJ came through for me though, and we squared it away, got it working, and we are here now and rocking. I cannot see your comments, so if you are making comments, we'll have to address those at the end. But everybody's having a slamming Friday night. Tonight, we got a special action-packed live for you guys right here in the Rankmakers Live workshop. And I know you guys have been watching and following all the ladies all week and really kicking butt and taking names. And those ladies are absolutely phenomenal. And it's going to be hard shoes to fill, but I think we can do it tonight. I'm going to bring on a guest this evening. Mr. DJ is actually one of my coaching clients. And we talked about contests a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not going to steal his story, and I'm not going to steal what he did, but we just applied what Ray teaches here, and we applied some simple concepts around contests, and we kept a few things in mind, and I'm going to let him talk about those this evening. But this gentleman took it and ran with it, and his work ethic is unmatched by a whole lot of people. If you understood what this guy did every day, you would understand why he is where he is. And again, I'm not going to steal from his story, but Mr. DJ, if you're on this evening, can you fire up your video and get this thing rocking?
What's up, Ryan? How you doing today, man?
Super blessed, man. I can't see your video though.
No, I can. Can someone tell us? I can.
There you go. I got you now.
We're good. All right, cool. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind, just give us a little bit of background about you and who you are and where you come from and what your experience is in the profession and things like that. And does that even matter to run contests? Because I know you got quite an extensive resume history. But tell us a little bit about that as we kind of transition into your contest and what you did and things like that.
Sure. No, I appreciate you having me on, man. I appreciate everything you're doing. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. My name is DJ. I've actually been in this profession for about 23 years. When I was 18, we all had to make decisions. What do you want to do with the rest of your life? And I knew right away at the age of 18, I didn't want to go to college, and school just wasn't my cup of tea. And then I realized without a degree, I was just going to get a job that paid minimum wage. And of course, I had a bigger budget and mindset than that. And so I actually got introduced to network marketing when I was 18. I've never heard of it before, never done anything like it in my life, but I fell in love with what they were saying was possible. And, I grew up in a single parent home, and I was looking for a mentor. I was hungry. I was eager. I was just super coachable, man. It was the best thing that I heard that I was offered at 18. And I just believed what they were telling me. And I just did exactly what they told me to do. I became incredibly coachable and, been a part of a couple companies in the last 23 years, but been very blessed to make it to the top 1% of a few companies. And here we are. And never had an outside coach other than in our company before. And I wanted to do something different and learn something different. And you don't know what you don't know. And, being able to be a part of this coaching program has just been a dream come true and a complete blessing. And I'm very lucky to have you, Ryan, as my coach.
Well, thank you. Too kind, man, for sure. So before we get into the contest and things like that, I'm curious, right? We have a lot of people come into the coaching program that are relatively new to building online, that maybe are relatively new to the industry. So what's a guy like you doing here? 23 years experience, quite the extensive resume. And, what attracted you to Ray's Inner Circle in the beginning, and why did you decide to step with us?
No, that's a great question, man. And there's so many things that attracted me to Ray Higdon and your guys' Inner Circle. I was taught 100% for the last 21 years, the first 21 years of my career in network marketing, I was taught the old school way, driving around the meetings, flying around, being a rock star, going in and out of cities, not really being with family. And, about 2 years ago, I had a friend of mine that went from 6 figures a year to 6 figures a month. and he was in a different company. I started reaching out, I
Wow.
started digging, going, what are you guys doing different? And I started, looking into different courses, and I saw them traveling less in the sense of building their businesses from living room to living room and coffee shop to coffee shop, and actually spending time with their family. The main reason we all join network marketing is to have freedom and flexibility to do the things we want to do when we want to do it. And if we let off the gas to go on a vacation or spend time with our family, we don't want our business to decline. We want it to keep going. And when I was building that old way, if I took time off, my business declined. The speed of the pack is the speed of the leader. And so I was looking for a system to where we could build online, become mobilepreneurs, make money from our smartphone, travel, because at the end of the day, we were pitching everything of that sense, but we weren't living that reality. And I knew there was a different way, and I started going against the grain. And just to be transparent, my company wasn't teaching social marketing. They weren't teaching, how to, engage in attraction marketing and all the different things that you guys were doing. And I just, Ray spoke to me, man. His tonality, his personality, his charismatic type of individual, and what he was standing for, pulled me in. And then I went to Rank Makers Live, and I heard about your coaching program. And I've never, like I said, I've never invested in outside coaches before. And I was a little nervous because you don't know what you don't know. And I was going against the grain and doing something that I've never done, but I also wanted a different level of results I've never had.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you. We appreciate your presence here. I know you've helped me grow as a coach just as much as I've probably helped you grow as a student. So I greatly appreciate that. So a couple weeks ago, right before Black Friday, you and I had a conversation about what we could do to kickstart your organization, right? And actually your combined organization. And so take me through a little bit about the conversation that we had and what you were thinking and what we were brainstorming on, and give us some, actionable kind of thought process that you were going through.
Yeah. So as we all know, there's seasons in network marketing, and there's building seasons, and then there's slower seasons. And when I look back at my career in this profession, Ryan, for me personally, just because I understand how people think, November and December on my personal production has always been my best months, because I know that most people let off the gas during the holiday season. They just do. There's a lot going on. People are distracted, and it's easy to do. And for whatever reason, my personality always found my best business partners in November and December, because while everybody lets off the gas, they're not looking. But what people don't realize is November and December, the people you want in your business are out there looking for you. And I've always, I signed up in that period of time in the December season, and some of my top producers all signed up in November, December. So long story short, Ryan, I wanted to create a contest to get the masses engaged. And I grew up in a company and an industry and a mindset where everything was geared towards the 5%ers. And I, reading Ray's leadership book, going to the trainings, listening to the culture, and how he talked about getting to the 80%ers. I've never catered to the 80%ers because my coaches never catered to the 80%ers. So we needed to create a contest that got everybody involved and engaged. And instead of focusing on production, which is what we've always done, is we wanted to focus on activity, because we knew activity would lead to production.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And so, so with that contest conversation, what transpired from that contest conversation? Obviously, I know because I was in the conversation, but I want these guys to hear it from you, from a student, what your perception was, because a lot of times they hear us coaches just telling them, and a lot of it is what Ray teaches. I mean, it comes, from his book and things like that. So, what on the receiving end of that conversation, did it seem overwhelming? Did it seem doable? Like, talk to me about that.
Sure. So it was different, right? It was the unknown for me, because when we used to do contests,
sure,
we would always cater it to the top 3 producers, the top 5 producers, and we would give them a really nice gift. But psychologically, a lot of people quit before they got started. So I was literally like a sponge with you, buddy. And I needed to learn what it took. And came to you, and you were talking about pre-contest and, you know, to get people qualified to get in the contest. And you want to make it to where a lot of people can actually, you know, qualify, if you will, to get into it. And, you know, we just came out of one of our events for the year in October, and we launched a tool within our company that would allow customers to be able to try our product, if you will, before they would buy it. And so we wanted to get that tool out to the masses as fast as we could. And a lot of people are afraid, as you know, of making sales because of, you know, the word no and different things. But this was something where we could give to our customers or future customers to more or less try it before they buy it. So they were just giving things out. And that's what we geared the contest around, was how many of these cards could you give out to people? And because we know when you give something to somebody for free, there's going to be a percentage of conversion where they upgrade no matter what company you're in. If you give a sample of a product to somebody and you give out, say, 10 of them, there's going to be a conversion rate, right? And that's what we were focusing on.
Sure.
And, you know, if you want, Ryan, I can get into the numbers a little bit and what we did, and also some of the responses from people that are traditionally 80%ers on some of the feedback we got on. And I can go over, if you like, some of the pre-contest qualifications, how many people qualified, the conversions, all that kind of stuff on what we did. Is that something you'd like me to do?
Yeah, so real quick, I just have a question. So when we talk contests, right, we say that incentives 100% of the time drive behavior. And so I want to break this down a little bit before we get into that. What was the behavior that you were trying to teach your organization, first of all? And secondly, what you know, obviously the incentives were in the main contest, but what was that when you kind of collectively came together with your other leaders? What was the behavior that you were trying to teach?
The biggest thing we wanted to do is just get people into action. We wanted to get the activity going through the holidays. Instead of letting off the gas, which is what everybody does in this season, we wanted them to create action around the holidays, because at the end of the day, there's two mindsets, right? There's people that make their New Year's resolutions and they start acting on those resolutions January 1st, right? Which the masses do that. Sure. We understand that. But at the end of the day, you know, there's a different type of mindset where you want to create those resolutions, but you wanted to start those back in September on the activity so you can run through the starting line January 1st. And so we wanted to get the masses in that mindset of taking action now, because if you want to walk stage at, you know, your company convention in January, you can't start January 1st. You got to start right now. You got to start in October. Right. November, December. So we wanted to get the masses Sure. that were kind of just being stagnant and sitting around off their butt and get going.
Awesome. Thanks for breaking. I appreciate that, because, you know, that's an essential part of the contest. And what I want everybody to understand here, you know, when we're in a marketing business, 100% of the time, incentives will always drive behavior, and incentives in a contest, you never want to do a contest unless you're very knowledgeable or very understanding of what your organization needs to learn, and then obviously drive that behavior into an incentive. So I appreciate you breaking that down. So talk to me a little bit about now the pre-contest and what you guys kind of formulated and transitioned that into the main contest, and let me know how that worked out for you.
Yeah, so first of all, Ryan, we never have ever done a pre-contest. I've never even heard of a pre-contest. So when you talk to me about it, you know, having the contest before the contest, that was a little bit different for us. And so I didn't get it 100%, but I did it anyways because you told me to, and just kind of had that blind faith a little bit. And man, it worked like in a big way. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a way where people could qualify to actually get in. And we did make it simple, but you had to do enough to get in there, right? We made it to where really everybody should have one if they're plugging into all our channels on communication. And all we had to do is this tool that we had, all they had to do is get it in 5 people's hands in 72 hours. So we did a 72-hour pre-contest before a 72-hour actual contest, and you recommended to have the contest short and sweet in a condensed period of time, and it was magic, man. I mean, you nailed it.
Awesome. So talk to me about why it wasn't 10 tools in some of these hands, or 15 or 20 or 25. Why 5?
So, you know, why do we pick 5 versus 10, 15, or 20? Is that what you asked me?
Yeah, basically. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay. So the reason we picked 5 is because we knew it was achievable. We probably could have got 10, quite honestly, and stretched the imagination, but we knew it was achievable for everybody to get it done.
Yes. That's the exact answer I was looking for. And so I want everybody who's listening to really pay attention to what DJ just said, right? The entire idea of a contest is to get every organization that maybe wants to raise their hand able to raise, right? And if I set a contest goal or pre-contest goal at 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, you know, whatever the case may be, then as DJ suggested, you know, a lot of times we go through these different events and these trainings and things like that and company conventions, and they throw down this magical you know, $10,000, hey, hit this link and you get another 10 G's or 50 G's. And pretty much 80% of the audience is already, like, they've counted themselves out. But what DJ did here was absolutely incredible, because he put a pre-contest activity in place so that everybody who wanted to raise their hand and get involved and learn the behavior that DJ was trying to teach was able to do it. So thanks, DJ. I appreciate you going through that with me. So keep going. So what was kind of your numbers in that 72-hour period? What kind of happened from that activity that you set out?
Yeah, so in the first 72 hours, they had to activate this tool that helped them gain business, and we had 184 people qualify for the pre-contest, which was, I'll be honest with you, man, I wasn't expecting it. I figured, you know, 20, 30, 40 people if we're lucky, because it's the holidays and most people kind of let off the gas, and, you know, which was a great number. I was pleasantly surprised that we had 184 people activate 5 of these items. And, you know, it was a big deal, and it got people excited, but more importantly, it got their belief up that they can do it. We got them to do something we knew that they could do, but they didn't know they could do it. And so we proved to them that they could do it by getting them competing and having fun and put a little challenge in place.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So 184 people transition into the main contest, if you will. What was the main contest rules, and how many people actually participated out of the 184 that qualified? How many actually participated in that main contest? And yeah, talk to us about that a little bit.
So it got pretty exciting, actually, and I put some notes down. But so what the contest was is we did the pre-contest for 72 hours, 184 qualified, and then we took a day to calculate everything and announce the next contest, and we did another 72, and this was all before Thanksgiving. And in the contest was, so to activate this tool, and the top 5 people that activated this tool, which to activate it, you had to give it to somebody. And so the top 5 people got prizes. We did for example, the first place prize we did was a $300 airline credit to our international convention in January. You know, VIP tickets to our floor seating, general admission tickets, some swag of our team logo, you know, team gear, and then private inner circle coaching for them for about 30 minutes with a lot of my top guys that are, you know, 7-figure earners and things like that. That's for the top 5, but that we geared it towards the 5 percenters. But if you got at least 10 of these tools activated, so with this second part was geared towards the 80 percenters, Ryan. If you got at least 10 activated in that next 72 hours, we're doing an online social marketing super summit next Saturday. Whoever got 10 or more gets a free admission to that you have to pay to be a part of. So now the 80 percenters could qualify and win and get something, and then also the 5 percenters. So we had, you know, kind of two contests in one, if that makes sense. And I'll kind of go over the outcome with it, which was pretty interesting. And so it was all driven around activity goals versus production goals. But at the whole contest, we activated this tool. We had over 2,600 of these tools activated, 2,602 to be exact. And what was interesting is we had 71 people get 10 or more. Okay.
Wow.
Of the 184, we had 71 of them. And then out of the, and we had 22 people get 20 or more of these things activated. But the number one spot got 67 and the 10th spot got 39. So between 1 and 10, there was a ton of activity, and the buy-in and the culture and the excitement. And we created this Telegram group where everybody was posting their results. So it was feeding the beast and feeding the fire, and the energy was just electric.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And so you gave me a rough number on potential commissions over the next 12 months that contest potentially generated for your, because of the way that the uniqueness of the tool and blah, blah, blah. We won't get into that. But what's the potential commission that organizationally your team can capitalize on over the next 12 months because of that contest?
Yep. So there's commissions that are paid out on the tool when we give them out and activated and things. And
Sure.
The commissions calculated is a little over $130,000, assuming they all use the tool. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to foot stomp something here, and then we'll kind of go into a couple last minute questions, because these are big numbers, right? And so I want to foot stomp something here, though. Ray always talks about speaking to your 80 percenters and loving on your 80 percenters and giving your 80 percenters something that they can do all the time. And so, these numbers may seem unreal to you, but I want to help everybody understand the fact that, quite honestly, these were all people that DJ had no intention of pointing a contest towards, and he had no intention of pointing production towards them. And now they've raised their head. And more importantly, they've learned a behavior that will carry on throughout their career, right? Maybe these guys don't, maybe these 80 percenters don't do 5 all the time or 10 all the time, but maybe they do 3 because they know it's possible. Maybe they do 4 because they know it's possible. And that's something that DJ has taught his organization now, and they're now empowered to do things on their own. And, maybe they are just an 80 percenter, and maybe they do just want $0 to $500 a month, but they're able to do that in this capacity through this tool. And so, it's just an incredible story. But DJ, if you have some actionable steps, maybe some people listening to this are maybe they don't have a team, that can, that this is this large, but maybe they have a team of 5 or 10 people. What would you suggest to them around contests that can help get some of those people into action and raising their hand?
So there's a couple things I would recommend. I would partner up with some friends. I mean, this might be out of order, but I would partner up with friends that are sidelined in your business, because there's a bunch of you people in network marketing that have 5, 10, or 15 people, and they're just getting started. And you as a
Sure.
leader, you may not think you're a leader, but you are. If you got a team, you're a leader. And I would get together with sidelines and create a similar contest to make it more exciting and a little bit bigger, and do the same type of stuff. Maybe you don't spend as much money on the top 5 prizes, but you get some of your upline leaders to come in and do coaching calls. And we're going into 2020 right now. What's your game plan? What's your DMO look like? What's your goal to rank up, and all these different things. And so the reality is you can also reach up to your upline, because they've got other teams that are maybe smaller and different, and combine it and create something exciting. And that's one of the things I would recommend, and make it to where they can win. And because even if it's, a kid grabs a wiffle bat and a wiffle ball and he hits the ball, they're excited, and they're going to keep swinging, and they're going to keep going. And that's one of the things you want to do, is get people excited for swinging the bat. And as long as they're swinging and winning and getting the hits, they're going to keep going and keep going. So I would group up, man. I got a lot of small teams that are out there building, and that's what we're doing now, is starting to group them up, and they're going to start doing some of their own contests.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Mr. DJ, is there any last minute things that you can impart, any last minute wisdom you can impart on the group, or is that pretty much it?
I want to just share one story. First and foremost, I want to thank you, man, because you've taught me some things that I've been around the industry for a while, and I'm learning some things. I'm being super coachable with you because I want to learn to cater to the masses. A lot of our conversations are, how do I get the 80% to engage in our team page and all these different things? Because that's foreign to me, and I want the 80%ers to grow because that's the big number. But I want to share this story with you because I had a lady reach out to me in my team, and she just said, I'm really, really excited that you guys put this contest together, because when I sit at the big international conventions and they do these rank up promos where if you put this amount of sales in, or you're the top 3 from this event to the next event that have the most growth or percentage of growth, she goes, before I even leave the arena and the last words out of their mouth announcing the promotion, I'm already out. I'm out. I'm done. I'm not doing it. And she goes, this was a contest that when you announced it, before you were done talking, I knew I could win. And that right there, I just got the chills thinking about it, man. And that's the stuff that
Yes.
fucks us up, is a lot of us might be 5%ers on here, but it's like learning the personalities. You got to learn the personalities so you can know how to talk to the other personalities and be that chameleon and adapt. And so that was a big story, man. That little thing fired me up more than anything, because if she was thinking the same,
dude.
so were a bunch of other people. So that was the best part about it.
Yes.
That's so awesome, man. That's exactly why we do these things, man. So, because how often have we learned in network marketing a certain way to do things, and there's so many people in our organizations that just get lost because we only speak to the 5%ers and we don't give options to the 80%ers. And as Ray said, if you just want to come into the gym every day and just do 10 curls and leave, then I'm going to love on you and make you feel the best you've ever felt for wanting to do those 10 curls, because I know at the end of the month, you're still going to pay your membership, right? And so that's why, I grew up in an industry where I was always projecting my goals on other people, and I couldn't ever understand why they were quitting so quickly. And so you have just proven the fact that when we get 80%ers to win, as you said, even just getting them to swing a wiffle ball bat and hit a wiffle ball, when they feel proud for doing that, when they feel empowered for doing that, it's likely they're going to take more action going forward. And if we keep them close to the fire and continue to do these contests, and we keep putting people in position to win, just as you and your team are. And I'm just proud to be working with you, man. I appreciate your coachability, and I appreciate you coming in here humble, regardless of how many years of your experience you've had since day one. You've been humble, and you've implemented without question. Well, there's been a lot of questions, but you've implemented what I've said, and man, it's really paying off for you and your organization. And I couldn't be more proud to be your coach, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this for the Inner Circle today. Because I can't see the comments, there may be some questions, and if you don't mind, maybe when you get a chance, just to go through the comments here and see if you can answer any questions for some people. That would be great.
Absolutely, man. I definitely appreciate you, and it's only the beginning. I'm excited to be a part of this group. So
good, man. Well, I appreciate you, and we'll sign off now. I hope everybody got some value from this. If you have a question for DJ, post it in the comments, or for me. Either way, we'll tag team it and make sure that we get your questions answered. We appreciate you guys joining this evening on a Friday, and bye for now.